Americans love their lawns, nothing else. But that covering of vegetation provides a safe, simple, easy, comfortable, pleasing area around the house for the family's activities.
One of the problems with having a traditional kind of lawn and bush shrub type landscape is that it's very resource intensive. It requires an awful lot of water, fertilizer, herbicides. We tend to over apply all three of those things. So what ends up happening, it becomes a real water quality issue.
If you want to keep your lawn, there are a lot of things you can do that will reduce the impacts. This is another way to slow the flow.
You simply cannot have a lawn in California without irrigation. The main problem in terms of the water used by lawns is just overwatering unintentionally by most of us. We kill more plants by over-irrigating, overwatering than underwatering. There's no reason to irrigate lawns every day. In fact, you shouldn't. If you apply too much water very frequently, all these grasses develop a very shallow root system.
Homeowners need to be aware of the amount of water being used on their lawn and landscape. Automatic systems are great, but you still need to pay attention to the timing of the water being off and on, the amount of water being delivered, and whether it's running over or not into the street.
It's very simple. The first week that you want to start irrigating, turn your irrigation system on. Make sure that when the clock starts, those sprinkler heads pop up. Second, make sure the water is coming out of them. And also make sure that they get the whole circulation, rotation, whether it's 360, 180, 190. The other thing that we recommend people do is to irrigate their lawns early in the morning, 2 a.m. to about 8 a.m. because it's cooler then, so you don't lose much water due to evaporation.
We see a lot of the newly developed subdivisions have very compacted soil, which is very hard to grow anything on. And what typically happens is we have maybe a 2-inch layer of sod rolled over very compacted soil. So what you've essentially created is a very thirsty landscape, a landscape that requires a lot more herbicides and pesticides. And so it really starts with creating good soil.
We have a process called aeration, which can be done annually on lawns, basically poking a hole in the ground to allow for better water infiltration. If you irrigate properly, aerate the soil, mow properly, in most cases, grasses do not need fertilizer. Lawn fertilization is definitely one of those misunderstood aspects of lawn maintenance. All that fertilizer eventually runs off the area and is totally a waste. For grasses, nitrogen is really the only thing in most cases needed. Good microbes, we can actually destroy them, kill them by overuse of pesticides or fertilizers, and the grass does not get the amount of nitrogen it needs.
Grass cycling is the recycling of lawn clippings back into the soil. As you're mowing, you're leaving the clippings in, thereby providing nutrients for the next growth. The soil gets organic matter and structure, and it has increased ability to retain moisture, which reduces the need to water.
There's not a single reason to take the clippings out and bag them and send them to the landfill. Most people don't realize that frequent mowing is very important. As you mow these grasses, because they produce new leaves and stems from the buds, which are right at or below the soil surface, you increase the density of the grass. And I always tell people, really, a lawn is a matter of mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Having a couple of weeds here and there, it's not the end of the world. It's still nice and green. Do you want to have a lawn, no pesticides? Or we want to have the most manicured lawn, and therefore we may not be doing things as environmentally sound as we should be doing. The whole idea of changing lawns is for conserving water, reducing water runoff, helping the soil, and all other positive things that we get from plants.